What a way to start. Let's untangle the headphones from the mic. Alright, Bluetooth mouse died today. That did have a thumbnail. And let's go and do our usual. Why I do it on the air, no idea, but hey. We're gonna go debug it so we can share this out. Alright, first click debug will show us our old video. When we scrape, usually it's 2 scrapes, we'll get the correct title for today's live stream, which is here. You can see it there. Then when we scrape again, we're going to get the right thumbnail for today to go along with our 6-day problem. And that being said, we'll close that, go back. Alright, wrong mouse again. Post it to Facebook. That being said, we are back here. We'll go no green screen. It's kind of lame. I'll admit that much. Okay, so if we check our repair, and turn this a little, get me in a more appropriate area. You have to excuse me. I do not have. Ooh. I guess we'll go to there until I get the password input, huh? Oh, This took me a couple tries yesterday. Alright, so this is the repair of the computer. Now, I ran the first few initial scans with different tools to take and, you know, see what was good with this thing. You can see the leftovers from JRT Arkill. The Malwarebytes is on it. Windows Defender should also be running on this. It has a problem, and I do believe they want us to fix something. Well, let's get it to open. It's still open a lot up. We're going to go in and remove the few things, if there's any that need removed. Let's open up Defender. Set web root. Okay, virus and threat protection, set up OneDrive, dismiss it, and the account protection, they can deal with that later. That's not what it's here for. Intuit Data Protect. Okay, so not web root. QuickBooks Web Connect, Dell Update, all the usual suspects on a Dell computer and a business computer. Oh, no. We'll cancel that. Close that. Okay, so now we have two ways that we could proceed with this here computer. Okay. Ooh, look at that reflection. That's kind of horrid. We'll go. Oh, is the right cam? The right camera is froze. That is not at all what's happening. Let's go ahead and unfreeze that. Yeah, we're gonna default that camera and just hit OK. Configure. Do it live. And this is the downfall to webcams, people. If you're going to use Logitech webcams, if you're using more than one, which can be done, they're going to do goofy things. Just make sure you have them on separate USB buses. Okay, back to the point. There's a few ways that we could proceed with this computer here. None of them, I'll get that out of the way a little bit. None of them, I don't think one's faster than the other, maybe. We could take and get our program for cloning and install it on the actual computer. That's one way to do it. The other way is to remove the drive, and being that we need to install a solid state drive in it anyhow, let's go ahead and shut it down, get it flipped over, and pull the bottom off of it again to get the drive installed. But while installing the drive, we're going to go ahead and gotta wait for it to shut off. We're going to go ahead and clone it on our all-in-wonder computer over there. Are we off? We are finally off. Okay. Let's get all that unplugged. Pull this out of the way temporarily. Boy, there's just no good solution when you have too much stuff in the way. No good solution at all. Okay. Where's our protection? There it is. All right, let's go ahead. Get that, get this. We're gonna flip over, or yeah, flip up the MIB computer, the MIB AIO. And can we see it at that point? Or that's where we really got to slide it forward, correct? What about there? Try and do something, get a different perspective on it today. Let's work on it there, I think. Is that good? Should I bring you guys, you can stand a little closer. Just don't be bumping into me, as usual. Alright. So I heard a story today. The story of the day was somebody wanted to use a computer to reset a device. And a big place wanted to charge an awful lot of money to do that. Boy, look at that camera shaking from me wrenching. Does it always shake and I just don't notice it? We're gonna get it on a separate unit from the bench here sometime. Anyhow, resetting the device, or they wanted to use a computer to reset a device and were to be charged big dollars to do said reset. So yeah, it didn't get done, but we happily did it for well, actually, as of this moment, nothing. But there was a $5 bill involved, and that was on my account. I had no way to process a card, so we'll process it in the future. Yeah. If somebody knows how to do something and they just simply want to use your computer for a moment to do it, you can't overtax them on that. That's not right. That's the story of the day. Help somebody out. Let them use your computer and don't try and overtax them, or they will go somewhere else. Let's hit power real quick. We are unplugged. We're gonna hit power before we go unplugging, just to make sure the last little bit of residual power is drained out. Always good practice. Sometimes, and not always, sometimes whenever you do start tearing down an all-in-one, a laptop, a desktop, and after you've unplugged it from its power source, you can hit the power button and sometimes you will get a slight fan spin. Your fan will jitter. The other thing, did the mock-up fan work? Yes, it did. So it still kept it every bit as cool as this one. It didn't run as loud, but it indeed let it run through the night. Let me do the cleanup aspect of it without overheating or running very hot at all. It was just the fan running. That's what fans do. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get our drive. Oh! Boys and girls, don't do what Nick did. Take all the screws out before you start pulling on stuff to remove it. Don't pull a Nick. Are we alone? No, it doesn't look like we're alone. Okay. Let's get this out. Now, this is one of those little things. Okay, recently we rolled over into a new year. Real recently. We went from 2018 to 2019. 2019. 2019, okay? Dell, what are you doing using a SATA adapter? Would it not... Okay, here's what I'm wondering, okay? Does it cost less to put that adapter there? You must have overstock of these adapters, interfaces for hard drives that you can adapt SATA to your, I don't want to call it proprietary, but to that pretty proprietary looking pin layout, and then put it in, instead of just putting a SATA port on the motherboard and then the hard drive slot. Come on. Come on, Dell. Restore some faith, Dell. Restore some faith. I mean, granted, this was built a few years ago. Okay, so 6th gen Intel. I'm not going to go to the actual release date of the the Inspiron 7459. I don't need to go that far, but it was within the last few years. This was a early 2000s, early to mid 2000s thing. Dell, come on, man. 2019, we don't need those adapters. Just give us a SATA interface. Okay, and here's the other thing. You're using that interface with an M.2 slot on the board. Correction, 2 M.2 slots. One for Wi-Fi, one for a hard drive. Could you actually put a hard drive there? SATACON S1, what is this? M.2 SSD. Yes, you can. It says so right there. So you'll put an M.2 SSD on the board. However, you got to use that goofy slot interface. No. Come on now. Come on now. What are we doing? We having a leg pulling contest or what? And I like you, Dell. I like you. I do. Proof? What? You want proof? You're going to question the integrity? Here is my laptop. Dell. My laptop. My cut corner, because I can only put one slot of RAM in a laptop. Alright, so. Boy, that's a real good question. Before I go, let's get the orientation on this right. Alright, so it goes there, and that's going to plug in there. This one goes like that. So the hard drive SSD will go like that, just for quicker reference later. We're going to take our right on it marker and put two little marks. We know to line the marks up. Quick visual reference for putting it together. Okay, go to the KVM cam. KVM cam shows a mess, but it happens. SATA interface. SATA to USB 3. Okay, here we are. I'm going to go ahead and pop on the all-in-one. We have Acronis over here. This is where, let's pick another time here. Okay, so we have a toaster over here. We're going to run the conventional platter hard drive from the toaster or dock. Did that? Oh, hold on. Let's take our adapter pins off. No wonder it wouldn't plug in. There you go, we got that, and finally the SSD on the SATA to USB 3 cable. I do have a HDMI cable over here, I guess, that I could plug this in because it has an HDMI out also. Anybody not familiar with Acronis True Image, get it. It's a great program. Pay for it. Don't pirate it. Pay for it. Get an activated version. It does what it does and does it well. It has True Image, I believe, does the backups in that. You can do cloning. You can add new disks securely. Granted, there's free tools to do all of it, but it's a good program. Alright, automatic. If you're cloning, here, we'll go through the steps for when you open up Acronis. You will click on, sorry, let's back it out. So you will get the main window getting started that looks like this. The backup system, recover data, backup to cloud. Across the top, there are some tabs. Tools and utilities is what you want, and then on the upper right is clone disk. Click on that. It'll analyze some of your partitions. Choose clone mode, automatic. Then you want to find your disk. So we have a 1 terabyte drive that's running. Oh, we didn't turn the USB one on. We got a backup one. Cart ahead of the horse. Cart ahead of the horse. Let's back up. Click automatic again. Next. Yeah, sorry. We got to close it all out. Reanalyze our disks. Automatic, next. And there is our USB disk. So we have our 1 terabyte plugged into the USB dock. It will tell you for the interface that it is USB. Now, when you're selecting your source disk, you're not going to see your raw SSD or your raw hard drive that it has no partitions and is not formatted yet. You will not see that because it's not going to make it an option for a source disk when there's no partitions on it. So we'll go ahead and hit next after selecting our 1 terabyte drive that's plugged into the USB dock or whatever your interface would be. Let the little blue clock spin a little bit. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Alright, target. Select the target hard disk from the list below. We have disk 4 not initialized, 447.1 gigabytes. Sabrent is our USB SATA to USB 3 interface, and we can also see the interface for it. It is plugged in USB. So we're running a USB 3 toaster style dock over to another USB 3 to SATA cable for the cloning procedure. We selected our SSD that we're cloning to. It's gonna spin its little blue clock again. It'll come up to our next window. Target source disk 5 going to target disk 4, it will show you the before of the SSD. That's what the top is. So it's going to be empty. It's just going to be basically a raw drive, no partitions on it, no green filling up any amount of representing data at all, because there's nothing on the SSD. So you see the before and then the after plan for it. You'll have your ESP drive, your fat basic GPT NTFS partition of 432.2 gigabytes. We're going to go ahead and click proceed. If you would hit the options button, you can go in and change around some options. You can also manually adjust the partition sizes if you want. We're not going to do that today. And there should also be an option for when the clone completes to shut the computer down. We don't want that either. We just want to proceed with the cloning and get it done. Whenever you click proceed, okay, that window will disappear. You will get disk cloning progress, cloning disk, estimated time left, calculating. Once that starts doing what it's doing, that's where you want it to be. We'll go back to the right one. While that's doing its thing, it shouldn't take long. They have some data, not a whole extreme amount though. I am going to make room for another computer on the bench temporarily. Let's get our handy clipboard, pick up our all-in-one. We're going to move a few of the mouse pads over this way, get as many as we can laid out. I think 3 will do it to hold this. Alright, we are 98% on the counter, just a little wee bit hanging off the edge. Let's get our next suspect up here. We have, boy, kind of scared. What is this thing? We have got another Dell. We got an Inspiron 580S. It's been a little bit since I've seen one of these. So right away, flip our camera again. We're going to go ahead and pull the screws to pull our side cover. Sorry, you got to back up a little. If you want to see everything, just back up just a tad. Alright, let's not confuse the screws of the job. We will put them in the kitty cup. Wow, that's, hopefully they don't have that much data, but if the clone does indeed take that long, it does. Who are we to say how long it can take? So let's throw a Dell in there. And this is cold. This, you know, well, sorry, I meant to say this is rehearsed. No, this is definitely not rehearsed. We're just cracking on it to see what could possibly be wrong. We're going to take a visual inspection of the computer. Okay, we've got power supply. I don't smell anything burnt. We're going to look at the caps. All the caps on the motherboard appear good. Testing them is a whole nother ball game. Let's go ahead and spin this around, and we're going to pull our front cover off. In the kitty cup. Boy, you're being difficult coming out of there. There it goes. Okay. A little bit stuck. Just to take a little bit closer look, we'll pull the ROM out as well. And 100% not rehearsed. This is just strictly looking. Alright, the visual inspection, all the caps look halfway decent. We have fan spin on the CPU, on the graphics card. The ROM is out of the equation. We do have 4 sticks of RAM, all equal to 1 gig, all matching same timings, same everything. So that was either came in it or put together as a set. We've got our hard drive. Let's go ahead and throw this thing up on the KVM. Yeah, wait, we got HDMI, so we can go to maybe the KVM and as well as the computer. I am going to go ahead and switch that cable to the appropriate place. Let's go there. We're a little tangled here. We got our wires going to the wrong spots. Okay, we need an adapter to go VGA to what? VGA to DVI. Had a real blank moment there. VGA to DVI adapter. People, where do I have that? Did you see where I put it last? I did not. I don't. If it's here, I'm not seeing it. It's not in my basket of tricks there. Let's look. So we need, what did I say we needed again? We need, make sure we're not already using it somewhere. Check the backs. Okay, those are both VGA onto the computer. And then we need, see, the funny thing is I see these all the time and I just don't know where I put them. Well, if we have to, I guess we'll just go into Open Broadcaster on its own, nowhere else. Give me a minute to look here. I'm going to be real reasonable and take a long, hard look and see if I can't find these adapters. It's only going to be beneficial. Alright, so definitely, oh, right in front of me. Let me show you where they were, if you can see it. Literally right here in a bowl. So had they been snakes, I would be dead. Alright, we're going VGA to DVI. That's going to be our connection to the KVM because we can't run HDMI direct to our KVM. And then we will go out the HDMI port to OBS after if I can get it booted, then we'll connect that up. But as for right now, let's go ahead and get this connected in. Install networking. Let's go for, okay, we're going to need an adapter here. We have no PS2 ports on this thing. This was designed as a strictly USB computer. We will grab our what do I want to call this thing? PS2 to USB adapter. Sometimes both will work, both the mouse and the keyboard, when you do this with a computer, but more often than not, only one will work, and we're going to have to get a USB mouse and plug in. So, let's go ahead and plug that in. We're going to switch our KVM over. should be on 2. And then we've got to find the power button on the front. Let's look at the front of it. It will be right there. Am I getting anything on screen? So hard drive light is firing. We've got data happening. We've got Windows starting up. Let's flip over to the repair and get our HDMI cable out from under this mess here. And we're going to go ahead and plug the HDMI in. It looks like it needs flipped over in order to go in. Does it? And that barely fits in right beside our DVI cable. Here, we'll flip back off, go to that until the system boots up. I want to see what, I don't want to be giving away family pictures or nothing like that. And doing this cold, we got to use a little precaution, little privacy on what is on screen. Okay, so Windows is saying, please wait, please wait. Is it going to be a blue screen problem? I don't know yet. I'm not quite sure. But we'll figure it out sooner rather than later. Hopefully. It's taken a few minutes to start up. We wouldn't... Yeah, we have no display yet. None. So let's go with the zoomed in. Or just the above. That can work. We'll take a refreshment break while we wait on the computer to come up. Okay, and that looks like a plain, if it's even going to come up. A plain Windows screen. Let's check our mouse and keyboard over here quick. Okay, so neither keyboard or mouse is working. Not off that adapter anyways. It does say device driver installation failed. Let's get a USB mouse so we can see if the computer's frozen or if we have any level of control. What are we working on, people? We're working on a Dell. I don't have a Dell mouse here. I do, but it's bundled up with a keyboard, so we're not going to worry about it right now. We've got what Acronis is saying 10 minutes on our cloning process over there. Over that way. Acronis on the All-in-Wonder Acer, it's telling us we got 10 minutes. Still nothing on the repair. Still nothing. Okay. We'll go to above again. Get our USB mouse. Do we have control? We don't. It is locked up right now. We have no type of mouse. Oh, we got it. Okay. So we got mouse control. Screen res. We'll go to the repair. We don't want to extend these displays, we want to duplicate. And then we'll hit apply, keep changes. We are running at the correct resolution, however, let's hit OK. And finally, back to my, too many mice and keyboards here, get you confused sometimes. Let's open up the PC repair source. We're going to deactivate and then reactivate it. And there we have it. We're now up into the repair. I don't know what the problem with this one is. I'm going to find out real quick. But as far as that goes, we have everything there. Let's make a phone call quick, people. We're gonna make a call to the wife and find out what the exact problem allegedly is with this computer. Unless it's gonna crash. It could do that. Phones do that. If it crashes, we'll pull the SIM and throw it in the other phone. Ah, we hear ringing now. If she can hear us, that's a good thing. Problem with this is a Pixel XL. The microphone does not work on this, so I'm relying on a Bluetooth headset. We're calling the boss. Okay, so let's try and call the person himself and see. I don't know that it'll ring. Let's try and text. Yeah, boss. Hey, I gotta mute 1 second, people. But all I can say is it did not do it for me, okay? So I'm working on it on the stream right now if you want to let him know, or if you want to tune in or whatever. Doesn't matter to me. You guys can come on the air and berate me in the live chat, whatever you want. Anyhow, I'm going to continue work on this. I'm going to do a few things while I'm here with it. Okay? Alright. I will... Alright, you people there. I got word from the boss. She says, do we got a working keyboard while we're at it? Yeah, see, no work on the keyboard, no work. We need a keyboard and a mouse here, people. We are, you know what? We're not using our little, for our Logitech keyboard. Let's go ahead and get it going. We'll check the status of our clown over here. I still see lights flashing, so it's still going. 3 minutes, allegedly. We now have a working keyboard. I'm going to go ahead, CMD, right click and run it as admin. Okay. Sure, why not, if that's what we've got to do. While we're in here, we're gonna do, what's the best way to do this? CHK DSK space C : I don't think we need the slash. and we may need an R. I never remember if the /R is before or after. I don't do these often enough. Let's flip over to the LCD and go for a Google result. Alright. Check disk. Here we go. Let's scroll down. So check this /R, that's Windows XP. Let's get to something newer. Let's see, :/R, so I was right on that one. And I believe that still applies. We're up to Vista. We're in 7. Same thing. Okay, so can I hit enter? Can I hit enter over here? Let me look at this screen, it's closer. No. And it's the wrong /. We want that one. Used by another process. Would you like to schedule this volume to be checked the next time the system restarts? Sure we do. We're going to do that. Let's see if we can do an SFC space /scan now. Allegedly there's a problem with the hard drive. When the system in question here was booting up, it would go to a black screen forever and then boot into safe mode. No options for anything else. So do we have some errors on the hard drive for being turned on and off or bumped around? We don't know. We don't know what happened. We're just going to try and get it fixed. And the hard drive is locked due to some other process. Let's try and find out what that process is right now and go from there. Our clone, Acronis tells us 1 minute. Okay, so we checked in with the clone over there. We got 1 minute there. It should be done. However, we're slightly out of room here. We may be able to push everything and get something happening. We'll try it. Let's see if we can reorganize some stuff. The bench it's crowded right now. So for the time being, ooh, if I switch over and you get to see stuff shut. Oh, no you don't. Let's go to 1. And OBS should not have a problem with that. Let's check. Yeah, we want the 1, and it's still seeing the same old source because the new computer didn't come up. So we'll go with that. That you can at least see some type of movement. Alright, let's go ahead and shut this one down. We're going to pull this one out of the way. This is a job for update and shut down. I like it. Alright, moving on. We'll go to station 2. Station 2 is the one that we're working on. We need to go to 3 because our wires are crossed. We're going to go to 3 and shut down. Shutting it down, we'll get one thing. Station 3 is here. We're going to get it out of the way temporarily to make room to slide this over and continue with our MIB all-in-one computer. Which, I mean, technically it's still an all-in-one, but really it's more of an MIB. Okay. Fans off, we're shut down. What do we have in the way back here? That is their Wi-Fi adapter. Okay. We got that one out of the way. Okay, that makes sense there. And let's check back in on, we're going to check back in on station 1. Station 1 is fans down. We will remove it from the equation also. Alright, station 1 going down. Here's a little, let me move this system out of our way, and then we'll get to that. Back to station 2, let's throw 1 down and 3 out of our way. A lot less jumbled. A lot less jumbled. All right, I can dig it. Can you guys? All right, let's get back to the right side there. 26% of the way through. Anybody see this? I told you about this. Pretty much every dongle I have, I attach a chain, a string, something to it. And usually have something hanging off of it. It's the bathroom key at the quick stop, gas station, so they don't get lost. All right, here we got some fans out of the computer that was on station 1. They need replaced. This is what dust and dirt can do for people that aren't familiar with it. This fan should spin freely. This one will probably spin a little more freely, but not like it should. And as always, for reference, I try to keep everything in perspective and not complete BS. I mean, maybe a little bit. Is it alright if I just make this up along the way? Let's check out another source in our box. We've got another fan. A fan that's not bearing out. Will spin. Okay, here. Let's spin that. See, this one's loosening up, but it will go, but not on its own. You have to keep getting it started. This one, so yeah. Clean your computers out once in a while. The fans and the computer will be very happy. They will like you for it. Checking back on our clone. This one, garbage. This one, probably garbage, but we're gonna see if we can clean that bearing out. Yes, take your computer, clean it out. It will definitely like you more for. Okay, and we have a runtime error on our Windows 7 sheet over here that we are working on. Let's get this back up on the bench. Alright, checking in. We'll flip our camera so it's like you're watching something instead of nothing. The disk has been successfully cloned. Now, when you clone, if you install Acronis or your cloning software, usually on the hard drive that you're actually cloning, you install it and then do the clone to an external drive or an internal. If you're cloning the drive that you're booted to currently, like with Windows, if you're booted into the operating system, it's going to reboot the computer and then do the clone. And that's where you would more often than not check the option for having the computer shut down when it's done. If not, it's no big deal. You can shut it down yourself when it's done and then pull the old hard drive out, leave the new one in. But since this is not the OS drive, it was a different operating systems drive plugged into the dock, we're just going to go ahead and hit OK. We can close our Cronus program. We'll unplug our USB 3 to SATA adapter, and then when the light stops flashing, we're going to power down our toaster style dock with the original hard drive in it. Let's go ahead and put our cable where it goes and bring these back over to here. Original hard drive, SSD. Let's go ahead and line this thing up with the marks we made. Do the marks line up? Indeed they do. Now, we're going to have a little space here because this drive actually doesn't come with one, and I like it when they do. They give you a little... Uh-oh, it's the boss, people. It's the boss. Hello? Hello? Yeah? What, the stream? Well, I'm talking to you now. Why? Sorry, at some point in your life, the boss, you know, the boss makes the calls. That was one of my bosses out of the bajillion that I got. Okay, our mouse is not working. There it goes. Okay, data safe local backup components DS data safe update, data safe exe, runtime error. We will go ahead and remove that. I believe it's Dell data safe. We will remove that from the system. Yeah, we're going to get rid of that. Windows, so it 100% completed. It did not find any resource. What is it? What is it called? Find any integrity violations. No integrity violations. So that's allegedly a good thing. Let's go back to our repair for a moment. We did that. We're going to go ahead and reboot to let check disk go through, and that will get us, let's put the restart in. Check disk is scheduled. I don't think you're going to get the display output of it, but if you do, hey, that'll be even better. I hope it does go so you can see a check disk if you're not familiar with it. Back to the point before the boss called. If this happens, this will be amazing. I don't think it will, though. I'm watching here to see. Yeah, well, not gonna happen, my friends. I'm sorry. Not gonna happen. Anyhow, usually SSDs that are a very, very thin profile will come with a little adapter plate to adapt them up to the right thickness for going into such things, to line up the screw holes. It makes it easy. It's not necessary. I have a collection of them from not using them over time, but they are handy. In the situations where you 100% need them, if you 100% need them, they are nice. Alright, and we know that's wrong. Our marks do not line up. We're getting some serious crackle from these speakers. I'm going to go ahead and unplug them. Let's volume this thing down. I'm not digging that at all. Serious static doing a check disc. Alright, we got this here. Let's go ahead and get our screws into the and we'll get this system booted up soon enough. Let's try it now. Let's see what happens. Yep, no check no check disc for the public. You gotta be here to see it. For the hard drive, if it finds problems with it, it's gonna fix them. If it finds any orphaned or unlinked files, it will recover them. Bad sectors, I'm not sure if check disc checks for that. I think it does. Attempts to repair bad sectors, recover them. Yada yada. A whole bunch of stuff like that. Alright. We got to make sure and tell this person here, whenever we talk to this client again, that as long as if it's slot right, oh wow, whoa, never mind. We ain't telling them nothing. I was completely off. They don't have a CD-ROM in the thing. I was gonna say use the old drive for storage in the CD-ROM slot with an OptiBay adapter, but not gonna happen. Alright, let's get our propria adapter, whatever we can call this thing. We will get it in place and go ahead and get this SSD mounted in the system. Alright, looks good. Everything is lined up where it's supposed to be. And that is that one. Anybody out there, if you were going to say a good time, when a good time to do this would be, when would you say? I mean, you don't have to be watching it now. You could be watching in the future. When's a good time to draw people in? Do I catch people before day shift for most people is over? During? After? Because no matter what, no matter when anybody's working, there's always going to be somebody that is not working, and always going to be an audience somewhere, some way, somehow. So yeah, I'm trying to find a good time to do. I have it split up when I do open hours, when I do after hours. Open hours is open hours here, after hours is after the business day is done, and then we're free to work on and do kind of whatever we want. So now, like I said, let's go over a little bit about this board here. I can't get in super close to show you, and this is a lot clearer here. We'll get my pointer. Refreshment break. If anybody's drinking and you got one, take a drink. Alright, what I see here. Right away, I dig it because it's got M.2, so that's probably going to be a Wi-Fi Bluetooth card. I didn't even look at the hardware specs. Most are. Not that they don't make Wi-Fi only M.2 cards. but I believe M.2 slots can handle more bandwidth than your regular mini PCI Express slots, if I'm not mistaken. It's got an M.2 SSD slot here. That's not going to be a full length 2280 or whatever. It's going to be one of the shorter ones. It reads 12 gigs of RAM. You got an 8 gig stick and a 4 gig stick in there also, so that tells me possibly that it would read 2 8 gig sticks, maybe even 2 16 gig sticks. I don't know what the max for the 6th gen i5 processor that's in here is, or what Dell locked this board down at being its max, either 16 gigs or 32 more commonly, maybe even 64. How awesome would that be to have 2 32 gig sticks of RAM in a MIB computer like this? You got a BGA slot here, or a BGA socket. Even though it's not really a socket, it would be a surface mounted chip. But that BGA slot, that would be for some kind of maybe discrete graphics, like an NVIDIA chip, an AMD chip. Not really a card, but a surface mounted mobile chipset. You got spots for RAM to be integrated. Would that be VRAM, video RAM, or just more system RAM, like some Toshiba laptops do? Because an all-in-one, for anybody that doesn't know, an all-in-one is basically a laptop motherboard stuffed into a different case. You know, they're not the same thing, but they are. With the build quality, they're built a little more robust and sturdy than a laptop. You know, but that would be cool. Be either VRAM or just built-in onboard system RAM, and then you add more to it on top of that. That would be way cool. So the bonuses: M.2 Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, M.2 SSD. Tells me that there's probably some board out there that does have a graphics card or chipset other than the one built into the Intel processor. The RAM slots, SSD upgrade. Downside: there's no CD-ROM spot anywhere to put an OptiBay adapter in. But if you wanted to get, I guess you couldn't even do it if you get risky. I don't know, I've talked about it before with ours. An M.2 to dual SATA adapter, would there be room in the case? And you put 3 1.8 inch SATA drives. Well, one for here, and then 2 more for the 2 on, yeah. We're dreaming, we're getting crazy with it. Let's put this thing back together. For now, we're going to see how Windows runs and boots, and we got to get on getting a fan for this one. That is not a permanent solution, but by all means, it worked. It kept it cool. It's going to continue keeping it cool unless this fan fails like the other one did. Oh, and here we go. Where's that fan at? While I'm taking a look at it, I don't know. Oh, here it is. Let's see if we can hear this. Yeah, so that's the fan out of this system. The rigged up fan is 100% going to work to do what we need done to serve our purposes for right now. We're going to go ahead and get our C-clip back out, which I don't know what was up with that. Let's dump it out and set it here to be installed very soon. Okay, we need a bottom case. Check disc is doing its thing over on the KVM. Now remember, we have our clips right here. So basically, it's this little, it's something with an angle like that. This part, the screw goes through here, and it comes forward, goes up, and that angled part is what hooks in right here. It slots in under that. That's what was keeping it humped up and not letting it clip together. And when I was trying to get the screws in, was letting this plate rock back and forth, side to side like that. So as long as we remember to put that in and then squeeze it up over our HDMI ports and USB on the back side, and we'll be good. Computer, you never told me. Who did this to you and made you sad? Who did this to you, computer? Was it yourself? Did the dust get your fan, computer? I do not like that one bit, man. that's too tight of a fit to be comfortable for me. But I suppose. Alright, and we are together. You know what we didn't do? We didn't put the damn C-clip in. Alright, let's get this cover back off real quick. Okay. Which one's all scratched up, all crazy? It would be this one. We're going to put it through, get our pliers, and attempt to put this C-clip back on to the screwdriver, or the screwdriver, this screw. Hopefully not on the threads. It should be able to be pushed on fairly easy. If put on in the right spot. At this point, I'm trying to rotate that up out of the way a little. It did stick. Now we're going to get, yep, we're going to fail. Oh yeah, okay, new plan. Slot a screwdriver, screw back in. One thing I notice, the older I get, these small parts, getting harder to see, details, make out, tell when either you're on, you're in, you got it happening. Damn, these eyes is getting old, you know? Let's go ahead and start this on roughly in the neighborhood and try and switch to our flathead screwdriver to use this to push this. Yeah, it's magnetic. We may get it with this after all, people. We may. It's a fight. Why I took this off, I don't know. I thought it needed out, and for what reason, I don't know. But now I'm cursing it that I did take it off and did fight it. I'm hating the fact that I did. Can we thread it on? Is that a possibility? If I'm not mistaken, that was a pain in trying. Alright, ideal location. Now, if the flathead will get it on there. No, we're halfway. And we got it. If it'll fuck us. There we go. We got that stupid C-clip back where it goes, holding that screw on. Alright, time for reassembly. Do all that, miss the bracket in the front, not have a clue. Alright, I like it. Looks good. Looks good. Alright, as long as you hit your mark, we'll be happy. And do we do the ever dumb thing and put it all the way together without knowing how the SSD is going to work yet? You know who I am. You know who you're talking to. Who are you watching? You're watching Nick. Of course we're going to put it all the way together. We're going to gamble that it's going to work. We're going to have faith in something that men and women made, women and men, something that people made. Oh, am I getting PC? Yes, of course I'm getting a little PC with you. This is PC culture. We're working on PCs. Come on. Yeah, I'll gamble that the cloning in the hard drive worked. Just out of past results. I've had it fail. Hopefully it didn't fail today. Alright, where are we at? 7:01. It is getting up there in time. If this thing boots, we're going to consider this job done for now. We're going to find the fan. Would I trust it going back into a super dusty work environment while we waited on a fan? Yes, I will. But before it goes back, we need to locate and order that fan. Should we get it used when knowing what happened to the old one? Well, yeah, only if we can't find a new one. We don't, there's not many choices if you cannot find a new one. Alright. Well, what are we going to say, people? Is it going to work? Are we failures? Yes, some would say yes. I think we're going to be okay for now, the time being. I think it will be okay. Let's get linked back up. This is a touchscreen computer, so we 100% do not need a mouse and keyboard at present time, but we will guess what? We'll steal that repair. I know. Steal the repair and bring it over to here again. Little snappier with SSDs? I think so. I mean, how much faster exactly? Faster enough that I think it's well worth it. Alright, so it does stick out the whole way around. Let's go ahead and flip over to the repair. We have power on. Let's grab our Logitech keyboard quick. Funny you guys don't get the splash screen. Keyboard initialization failure. Keyboard's plugged in, it rebooted. Or it didn't reboot, it's continuing its boot. Okay, we're going to deactivate and then activate. Bang. Okay. Let's put the password in. It comes up encrypted, right? I think so. A little quicker? Hopefully. I know Windows is going to have to finish the boot after the cloning process. Or finish booting up. Yeah, a little quicker. Is stuff loaded yet? Wrong mouse. Wrong mouse. Sorry, people. Wrong mouse. We have a few more things to load. The QuickBooks thing, the Dell update. Yeah, overall, not too shabby. I dig it. Somebody did a reg edit on this thing. Why do I have no mouse? Normal startup, boot, startup, task manager. Let's check out startup. Windows Defender, Realtek, HD Audio Manager, Paperport, PDF Pro, Delayed Launcher, Intel, Common Software Manager, Flexera. This is all stuff they use. I don't think there's much we can shut down. I was looking for the Dell related Dell update. We got status more. You know what? It's good. I'm gonna call it good. Device ready. With that, the job is currently done until we get the fan. System is up to date. Okay. Dismiss. We're going to try and shut one drive down. I don't think a lot of people use it. Because that's popping up and asking for a password, I'm going to let it go. I don't know if that means she used it, being not a Microsoft account. Can you set it up with another account? I have no clue. First things first, we're going to go in and set a restore point. The old C is missing. This new one, because it sees it as a different drive, we're going to configure and turn on system protection for this clone drive. If you clone a drive over, that's something you're often going to find that you have to do, unless you, maybe if you had identical drives. I don't think Windows will see even identical model drives as the same drive. This, let's configure it. Disable. We're gonna leave it, we'll leave it on, I guess, for now. Close the page properly and try again. Cancel. Cancel was our option and we're done. Alright, let's set a restore point. We're gonna, or set create. So we'll do 2019-02-12. Hit create. And after that, we'll shut it down and move on to, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down as soon as that done. Okay. Alt F4, Alt F4, Alt F4. Again, shut down. Remove my keyboard. We're almost down. We still have a light on. Beverage drink, people beverage. Alright. Where are we gonna put you? There's no room there, so we'll put you here. It's as good a spot as any for the time being, and we can still work on this if it gets out of a check disk state tonight. If. Big if. Okay. Thanks, Kitty, for hanging on to that stuff for us. And here's a good example of some of that residual power bleeding off. This thing is completely unplugged, but the light's still lit up on the end of the power adapter. It will bleed off eventually, but that is 100%. That's a light right now. So yeah, good practice when you turn stuff off and go to work on it. Hit the power button to bleed that extra power off. One out of the way. I will not bore you with the paperwork. Who tuned in to see what was in the box? Anybody? Did anybody tune in to see what was in the box? Alright, do I do it on this stream? Or do it in another? I'm going to do it in another. No, we'll just do it here now. The setup will be in another. Okay. Excuse me. Let's check out. And my camera froze. We'll go to me. Okay, camera's unfroze. I don't know why that camera freezes like that. Out of all the ones, and that's the one I think, let's go to it. We're going to make sure that it gets deactivated when not showing. Oh boy, what happened to you, camera? Oh boy, that looked horrible. Go to 6, low light it. Hit apply, hit OK, and finally OK. Alright, let's get down close and we will check the box. How's that sound? Is that better or is that better? It's back already? Wow. So if it's going to disable every time, it's going to reset its settings. Not good. Excuse me one moment, people. I cannot have it deactivate each time. We're just going to have to go. We're going to have to go with it. Okay. If it freezes, we'll just activate, reactivate, and hopefully not get goofy settings. Time for the box. What's in the box? What is in the box? Alright, coffee's gone. We're gonna have to go soon. Go get a cup. Did it freeze again? No, just lag, okay. Just lag. You know what, we're gonna keep that out. We'll probably need this, so we might as well just keep it out, correct? Correct. Let's put a few tools away. Also, whenever you get into a lot of this, it's good practice to label stuff. We're gonna go ahead before we continue with the box. Something I skipped. We'll go ahead and grab a label here. They're old, years old, but you know what? The labels still work, so we're still gonna label with them. I'm gonna grab a label, pop it on to the drive in the best location I can think of. We'll go there, missing screw holes. Yes, it's not square, don't matter. And we'll put our client's name on this so we don't lose their source drive. Excuse me. Granted, this will write on about anything, but we're not gonna write on stuff that ain't ours. We'll use the label. And put it in the ever-growing stack. Alright, back to the box, back to the box. What do we got? Well, I want to try something out. I've been playing some emulator games, some PC games lately. And I'm tired of using a wired we're back. I hate it when the mic dies. It's a lot to pay attention to. So, back to the point of this whole story. Tired of using a DualShock 4 controller plugged into the PC with the USB cable. So we're going with some 8-bit gear. This is the USB wireless adapter for controllers. I guess for computers that don't have either the wireless compatibility or Bluetooth. It's a shame that they put a sticker right over the back. We're gonna have to heat that up and get it off without ripping up the directions on the box, if there's none in the box. Let's go ahead and get that out. Okay, so wow, nice dongle. Even nicer dongle. Or dongle, I guess I should say. Ooh. Okay, so there's a cap that comes off. And there is switch. Make sure Pro Controller wired communication is on. PS4, enter pairing mode, press and hold the PS and share buttons until the light bar begins to strobe quickly in double. So double strobe. Like ding 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 ding. Okay, so apparently this can let us pair with a PS4, either we're using the controller on a controller on a PS4, or we're hooking, I don't know. We'll have to check out the full instruction manual online. And finally, the SF30 Pro Bluetooth gamepad, switch Windows, Android, Mac OS, Steam, 8-bit DOE, rumble, vibration, motion controls, and USB-C. It's got a ding on the corner. They didn't have much stuffing in the box. Shame on you, Amazon. Are we taped up? Alright, so that's what's in the box. We will do a separate setup for this. Ooh, I get a manual. Actual paper manual. Those are valuable. If you don't have internet, you can't look up your other manual, and if you didn't download it, you're really screwed. I like this version, I think, better than some of the other ones that I'd seen, because they had like L and R here, and then L2 and R2 was a button that came through the other one, so you could either click and then click the other one in here. I like the separate ones. I think I'm gonna like the separate ones more. Anyhow, that is no real review of it yet. Expect a review. I'm gonna get this set up and play a game. I would do it live on the air. I should do it live on the air. However, I'm not going to torture you and myself with doing this. I have no experience in setting up any 8-bit DOE controllers. Had I, you know what, it would probably make for something entertaining though if I did it without any experience. At the very minimum, somebody, somewhere, would hopefully get to laugh at some point at my stupidity. I can't wait to check this out. Once I get it working, we're getting on some Super Metroid. Maybe I will do a stream. I'm not a great player, but I love the game. Let's pack up our dongle again. I guess it don't matter. And there we go. I can play some games. If it works good, get a second one, and I can play some other games with my kids. I can't wait. Like, I keep trying and trying to get the almost 6-year-old into video games, and she kind of gets it, but not really. And then I got the little guy about to be 2. Not starting on it yet. Of course he wants to do it, but actually understanding it, no, not yet. But they'll get there someday. We all figure stuff out as we go along. Thanks for hanging out and getting your hands dirty with me today. If you did, and if you didn't, well, thank you in the future for hanging out and getting your hands dirty later. That was, what was that? What did we do? We did the initial figure out a fan system for it now. We got to get one ordered. We did the cleanup off the air. You didn't see that, and really there was no results to that cleanup, because it literally, I think it found 5 things, and there was a couple registry keys and a couple Chrome extensions, and that was it. The system was clean, like almost 100%. After that, we moved on to do the clone on our all-in-wonder Acer, or Gateway, whatever that thing is. It's an Acer, not a Getaway. Did that, cloned, we installed the SSD to our MIB computer. I guess we'll leave it at that. Right at the end, we will we'll move it over here so people can see it. So our MIB computer was, in fact, this thing here. MIB, if you didn't read the first description, was most in bottom. Not Men in Black, most in bottom. Because most of this thing was indeed in the bottom. What do we have in the top? A screen with some lights behind it. An Intel RealSense, like, basically this is a depth sensing camera. If you're somebody that does green screen type stuff where you have a full green screen behind you and you're trying to remove your background and put you in front of a false background, or you have a messy room and you want your background just to be removed. If you get one of these Intel, you can buy these as webcams. It's like the Intel RealSense 3D cameras, a 3D sensing camera. They work phenomenally with green screen type stuff. So yeah, that is our MIB computer solution for now. We're going to get the fan ordered in to replace this garbage. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you tomorrow, people. Maybe later if I do a stream, if I can get this working. Let's see how good my old brain works. Think about subscribing, leaving a like, dislike, comments, anything, questions. I will try to answer. I can't promise I will answer, but I will definitely try. Have a good evening, and we'll see you in the next stream.